Hello and welcome back to a surprise episode of this, but I just had to talk about this guy. I've had him for a little bit now, but the new Varan figure from Bandai, it was a Godzilla store exclusive, I believe, but I got it about I want to say a month ago, but it was more like 2 weeks ago. But I just have to talk about this guy today. Let me talk about a brief history of Varan, but I'd rather get into the review, so just a really quick shotgun of that. So Varan made his first appearance in 1958's Varan in Japan. He is this quadrupedal, like, lizardy monster. The name comes from Varanus, like the genus of monitor lizards. And in the movie, he doesn't do any of the gliding, but there is a deleted scene where, like, you see the skin flap on him. It is used to take off and land and stuff. And I think he only glides in the movie, but he's seen again later in Destroy All Monsters in 1968, where he is apparently able to fly with it, and you see him take off at one point and land at one point. He's super cool, but that's his only real history. He was supposed to be featured originally in GMK. It was going to be a whole different movie where it's Varan, Anguirus, and Baragon instead of King Ghidorah, Mothra, and Baragon fighting Godzilla as the guardian monsters. But that got scrapped, unfortunately, and the only remnant we have of that is Ghidorah's head design is based a little bit more on Varan. I want to hop right into this though, so let's talk about the scale that I use for my reviews. So again, those coming back to my reviews, those new here, I look at 3 core categories for reviewing. I'm looking at the sculpted detail, the color and paint applications, and then either the articulation or posing. And for figures like these, the tagged Bandai figures, I'm kind of looking at a combination of both because anybody that collects them knows there isn't a whole lot of articulation to most of them, but I'm also going to be looking at things like accessories, and in this case, like the tag. That might modify our score a little bit, but most likely it is not going to play any kind of a factor because this is it's a tagged Bandai figure. There's not a whole lot going on. Let's hop right into our first category with the sculpt and detail. Just starting at the head, I can't describe to you how beautifully this guy is detailed. You can see all of these wonderful horns and spikes going down his neck. He's got that sort of like side of the mouth neck frill kind of thing going on, which again is like the most iconic part of Varan other than like his like skin membrane thing going on. It's the part that they kept on Ghidorah for GMK when they dropped the original Earth Monsters design. You can see going down his neck and onto his chest. Again, like, I can't describe to you how detailed the skin is on this guy. It is just incredible, and it reminds me of, we did the 2001 Baragon from GMK earlier this year, and just talking about how detailed that is, it's like you can see the progression over years in improvement, which is not something I can say about every single figure that Bandai puts out. This is unreal. You can see the skin flaps going down the arm. Again, just so much realism to the way that they fold against the body. And even the paws are like so well detailed. The claws are individually sculpted out and actually look sharp for once. You can see each individual claw and all the skin detail on the fingers as well. Going down here, down the body, again, just sticking to the underneath for now. We can see these skin folds on his leg and going underneath the armpits, I guess, of the front arms. The skin, again, just beautifully detailed. I can't say it enough. And you've got these weird folded back legs, which are, native to things like Anguirus and, again, Baragon when he's crawling around. It's the thing that if anybody who doesn't know kaiju stuff sees on your shelf, they're going to ask why that monster's foot is broken. But going up here to the back really quick, you can see, I have no idea where they got this from, but Varan kind of has a carapace thing going on. It's super cool. It's not at all drawn from monitor lizards where the main inspiration for this guy came from, but probably more like Anguirus and like Ankylosaurs and things. But you can see he's got all these warts and knobs going down the carapace. It's so, so, so cool. And he's got these beautiful spines projecting out. Going down here to the tail, again, it's just more of the same. Just this beautiful sculpting on the bumps and everything. All the skin detail is sculpted out beautifully. I mean, if it's not apparent already, this guy is getting a 5 in this category. I can't say the same about every other category, but this is the sculpting is unreal. Just going back here to the face really quick, I mean, just look at the teeth. Those bottom teeth are all individually sculpted out. Like, how crazy is that? You can even get the tongue in there and his chunky little nose on here. I really like looking at this guy. So looking at the color and paint applications, the base color of Varan is very accurate to what we saw in the movie with this sort of like beige, orangey, kind of sandy color. But all we get for paint is his face, which isn't too bad with the tongue and the teeth and the eyes and the horns, but you don't get anything crazy. And then just working down the body, you'll notice the only other color on this guy is white on his spines, which don't even make it all the way down the tail. Although admittedly, they're so nicely detailed, you hardly even notice, but it's just worth mentioning. You don't have any coloration on the back toenails, and you just got the white painted on the front. The work that is done is very good, but it's just not enough for this guy. He's not a crazy colored monster by any stretch, but they just didn't try to add any dimension to it with the color, so unfortunately I'm giving this guy a 2. The parts that are painted are really good, but it's just so bare bones. I can't in good conscience give him more than that. It's too bad, especially considering the sculpt is just unreal, that they just totally slacked on the coloration and everything. You know, the raw color, again, I can't say enough. It's like perfect, right to Varan, but they just decided we're spending 1 cent on paint and that's it. So as far as the posing and articulation on this guy, I mean, again, for articulation, what can I even say about it? He's got his front legs that can move around, and you might be able to get 360, but I would not try it because looking here at the armpit with the skin folds, it catches on that part of the carapace explicitly, and I would not want to risk breaking it. Again, this guy is beautiful, but he is a Godzilla store exclusive. Getting a replacement would be very expensive, and it's very much pose at your own risk if you're going to do anything more than just having his arms down. His back legs also move a little bit, and by move a little bit, I mean move a little bit. You can barely get any articulation out of the back legs, and it's not like you'd really want to anyways, but again, it's just worth mentioning. Articulation aside, the posing is very nice. It's in one of his iconic poses. Again, this is a monster that stands quadrupedally, but can also go bipedally. The posing is beautiful. I can't say that enough. It's a very neutral stance, just him standing there, but it's very iconic for Varan. It would be nice if we had a way to pose him standing up, but I think that the back legs would be hard to get into a good pose where it could work for both. So who knows, maybe down the line we'll get a, bipedal Varan figure. That would be really cool. I can just say, Bandai, if you do that, I will definitely be first in line to get another one, because I'd love a version of that with him standing up. But as far as posing and articulation goes, I'm going to give him a 3. It's very middle of the line. The posing is nice. It's very neutral, but it's nice. But there's no articulation at all. In fact, I'm going to change my answer for that. I'm going to change that down to a 2. You don't get any articulation, and the posing is very nice, but that's all you get is just this raw pose, and there is literally nothing you can do for it. Any other posing. Maybe like stick his arm up, that's about it. I mean, actually, that's not that bad. But still, I'm sticking with a 2. It's very, very bare bones. This is not something you're going to be messing around with very much as far as posing and articulation. As far as accessories, Varan just comes with his little hang tag. It's very bare bones, there's not a lot to say about it. The picture they chose is cool, it's just from the original 1958 movie. And it's got his name on there. I like the little effect that they've got on there. I don't speak Japanese, but I presume that is Japanese for Varan. And it's a bummer that they don't come with these little stickers anymore like some of the older Bandai figures did, but it's really not a big deal. The improvements on the card are really nice. You got this little tag part here where it's cut out to mark his spines, and they do something similar with all the other figures. I really like that effect, I think it's so cool. And inside you just get a little silhouette of him and a ton of information in Japanese. So it's cool, but I'm not adding anything because of the card. So just to shotgun some quick size comparisons, here he is next to a fellow quadrupedal crawler, Anguirus. Here he is next to the 2001 GMK Baragon. Again, those were supposed to be his movie mates in GMK before the whole thing changed. Let's compare him next to the 2016 Shin Godzilla Bandai vinyl, the 1954 vinyl, and just an SH Monster Arts figure. Here is the 90s Awakening Godzilla. This is one I think most people probably have if you collect SH Monster Arts, but yeah, just to add a little variety. So just to round out this review, we have a 5, a 2, and a 2, bringing our total to 9. Dividing that down, this guy is leaving with a final score of 3, which I think is very fair for this figure. The parts that are done well, like the sculpting, are like breathtaking. I cannot describe enough how detailed this figure is, but they got slacking with the paint work. Again, they really only used white and then the tongue and the pupils in there, and they didn't even go all the way down. Like, come on, Bandai. I'm hoping this is showing us what our trend is going to be moving forward as far as Godzilla Store exclusive releases, as even if they're sloppy with the paint work or a little slacking on the paint work, for me personally, that's fine if it's a decent release in that area and then the sculpt is like fantastic. I can take a little bit of a sacrifice in some areas. I know how the world is right now. I know it's not perfect, but everything that I would really want out of Varan, I got from this figure. I'm very happy. Again, I can't say enough how much I did not expect this to ever happen. I never thought in a million years we would get a Bandai figure of Varan. So this is such a cool like dream come true, honestly, from younger me. The old YMSF figure, I never thought I'd get a hold of, and I never thought Bandai was coming out with one, so it's cool that the world's proved me wrong. Mr. Varan is leaving with a 3 for his final grade. So thank you so much again for checking out my channel. If you want to check me out in other places on the web like Instagram, Twitter, etc., check down below. I either have a link tree or a card. I'm messing around a little bit to see which one I like more, but whichever the case may be, I'll have links to all the socials down below. If you like monster movies, like this guy is from, check out Came From a Monster Movie Podcast. Me and my show partner Henry, we do a release once every other Monday. Right now we're in season 5 and we've been having a lot of fun with it this year. So again, if that interests you, check it out. We have a lot of fun with it, and if you want to be on the show, shoot me over a message. We're always looking for new guests. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any parts of this that I said, and if you like my content, subscribe. I release a new video every week. Again, we talk on other monster toys, but I also talk about dinosaurs, animal figures, and robots like mecha and transformers. All my favorite categories. Thank you so much again, and I hope you have a great night.